thanks to Joe. That was you hit all of the notes I'm going to hit. I've got welding, and sky poems, and river poems. So, thanks to Malvern, and thank you for keeping independent bookselling alive in Austin. We were driving up here and thinking of all the bookstores that had died along the way. And a belated birthday. Happy birthday to the store. Since the Orionids meteor shower was just a couple of weeks ago, I thought I'd begin with a couple of poems that focus on the night sky. This is a long prose poem. It's called Beneath the Perseids, and it's about several of the things I love about living in downtown in the historical district of San Antonio. 100-year-old pecan trees, and train songs all night, but it's not a place to watch the stars anymore. So this is called Beneath the Perseids. The pecan trees are bearing again the first crop after several droughty years, and the young professionals intent on the gentrification of your near downtown neighborhood can't stand the mess made by a generation of squirrels gone mad with the abundance of the heavy green-hulled nuts that they nibble and pitch, littering the late summer sidewalks with half-eaten mast and sounding like rim shots on century-old tin roofs, while weaker limbs, overborne and long untrimmed by their parvenu owners, creak and crack with any good evening breeze, crashing down on fences and cars, bringing out neighbors who've never actually met to say, insurance never pays for that kind of thing. And, oh, look, isn't that the Big Dipper or something? Being too young to remember when you could lie on a cot in these backyards only half a mile from downtown and watch to the accompaniment of bullfrog and coyote songs the hypostatic abstraction of the Milky Way's still light flowing across the dark August skies as Telstar raced by and fireflies and falling stars made whatever might be on the black and white television inside pale by comparison. And being that they cannot miss what they have never observed, the neighbors exit the evening heat to re-enter their real worlds, air-conditioned and connected to everywhere but the here and now, that will only impinge again at 4 a.m. when the train horns begin to blow low and lonesome as the heavy freights pull in and the hollow boxcars and empty gondolas head north again, rumbling across the city's last wooden trestle, over its crooked little river and mapping a sonic geography in the mind, swaddling that neighborhood with layers of meaningful tones that merge now with the dawn chorus of mockingbird and jay, cardinal and sparrow, accented by the dull drumming of green pecans on the roof. Here's a poem. It's about a special kind of meteor. I saw one once. I spent the night on the top of Enchanted Rock looking for this because it was a meteor shower that happened during a new moon. And so you can catch a meteor that is occulted by the dark disk of the moon and then it flashes underneath it. And it's very rare to catch it. There's two really great places in Texas to watch meteor showers. One of them is Enchanted Rock and the other one's on top of El Capitan. This poem's called Rekindling. And so we departed from the season of that haloed moon with our childlike wonder intact, frozen like the crystals that caught and shattered that light. Spring moons bled and fled from what seemed some temporal rift as we observed the fall of all we deemed real, substantial, watched a new species of fear. Wonder unjaded, we stared as August moon stubbornly hung, pale but full above the sunrise, as reluctant as we to fade into the light. Once paired pilgrims, we watched tonight for the passing of autumn's new moon, riding astride Orion's thigh as we cross Halley's dusty trail and the heavenly sparks fly. We seek the rare fires that streak behind the black absence, and reappear, twice born meteors, as we cautiously rekindle one memory at a time. Who would have thought that deep in the heart of Texas here, we'd be missing the storm? We're missing a lot of things.
No shit.
Like civil discourse.
Yeah. Goddamn Republicans, I'm telling you.
On the mark. During that last drought, it seemed like we were going to miss a few rivers, and so that's why I'm going to sing this one. This is about a guy that's, it could be a guy or it could be an aquifer, you decide, who's saying goodbye to all the rivers in Texas one at a time. Goodbye to the Brazos, goodbye to the red, goodbye your once mighty Rio Grande. Headed west to higher ground where they lay their heads. I'm traveling with my heart in my hand. Goodbye to the Frio, to the Llanos east and west, to the San Antonio's limpid greens and blue. Even all the rivers, springs, and creeks I love the best. Do what my heart tells me I must do. All my Texas rivers shimmer, pale as midnight ghosts. Memories like arroyos run from childhood to the coast. There's a line across sometimes, like the great divide. Life runs down the shadow side of hope. Goodbye to the Trinity, to Little Bachman Creek, to the Colorado sparkling Bowling Spring, to the Guadalupe's laughter and the Olympia, oh so sweet. I'll not forget the way your waters sing. Goodbye my Canadian, we all say Comanche tales. Our goodbye to the Pecos and Sabine. They call me like the sirens call Ulysses when he sailed. I hear all too clearly what they say. All my Texas rivers shimmer, pale as midnight ghost. Memories like arroyos run from childhood to the coast. There's a line across sometimes, like the great divide. Life runs down the shadow side of hope. I've been following the Rio Grande and the higher climbs to walk beneath my sage and pinon kin, where the Rio Conejo runs beneath the aspen and the pine. I can hear my children laugh again. time I played in Austin was at the Checkered Flag, 1972.
Wow.
In case you can't tell it, I'm a muse poet. So sometimes the muse is missing too. So this is a song about that. Lady rides a rail in the nighttime, making music as she rolls along. The guitar chimes, the iron wheel time as her life becomes another song. Ah, she's poetry. She's fire, she's dreams beyond desire. Those gray eyes gleaming in the dusk, she leads us to the place we must decide what it is that sets us free. All along that southern line, she leaves memories and melodies behind. Just like autumn's first cool breeze, summer dried trees, she comforts the mind. Lady takes a midnight train to New Orleans, leaves these Texas souls in the dust, leaves young men and old men wondering what they'll do now all their dreams have gone bust. Oh, she gave them poetry. She gave them fire, gave them dreams beyond their desires. Gray eyes gleaming in the dusk, she leads them to the place they must decide what it is that sets them free. Now she's their power, she's their light. She's white lace on a leather night. Oh, she's a seventh note in a midnight blues. She's the hand you cannot afford to lose. Bourbon Street, the saxophone sing high. Hear 'em ripping rhythm with her hips, and the poets sigh, and the poets sigh. Each time she walks by, they pray to catch just one word from her lips. 'Cause she gave them poetry, ah, she gave them fire, gave them dreams hot off her wire. Those gray eyes gleaming in the dusk, she leads us to the place we must decide what it is that sets us free. Decide what it is that sets us free. Decide what it is. Let us sing. By the way, both the songs, the lyrics are in that little green chapbook over there. This book is dedicated to my daughter. And she wanted me to write down all the stories I told her about my life when, she was a kid. And I'm not sure this is what she was expecting.
She won't mind.
I'd rather die than write an autobiography, but, this is as close as I can come. So this is a poem called Four Stroke, and Joe, you're really going to like this, because I guarantee you're going to like it. If ever you spent much quality time on the hurricane deck of a trusted motorcycle and then had to give it up, trading it in, say, for a station wagon to haul around your rock band, or maybe pay a tuition bill or buy an engagement ring, then you'll recognize the symptoms of the syndrome: involuntary of slight twist to the wrist, muscle memory that leans into a curve, the tendency to roll down the car windows with the AC on, prompting your wife, kids, partner to ask if something is wrong every time you pass a rider in your family minivan or SUV or silent little electric leaf blowing down the highway. And it dawns on you that you never really fell out of love with that old Honda 305 or the chopped metal flake Triumph 650. Or even the mini bike you built with your dad with its angle iron frame. That's how you learned to weld. Its wheelbarrow tires, bicycle handlebars, and the 3.5 horsepower Briggs & Stratton former lawnmower engine that your father insisted you must rebuild before he would even entertain the idea of letting you spend your allowance on a centrifugal clutch. And so you spent weeks figuring out how to take it apart, washing each part in gasoline and naming the parts. The naming of parts. There seemed to be hundreds, but it was only a few dozen as you laid them out neatly on a sheet of cardboard on the garage floor: piston and rings and rod, camshaft and timing chain, valves and lifters, ball bearing races, carburetor needles and springs and floats and ports, and the beautiful gleaming crankshaft. And what was of importance to most third-grade minds was simply blown away by the burning desire to know and name the function of every part, and to use the seemingly ancient tools to bore the cylinders by hand, grind the valves by hand, clean each carburetor orifice by hand, and replace every part correctly in relationship to the others, so that, like your father cleaning his rifle on the beneath a jeep on the beach at Iwo Jima, you could do it from memory in the dark. And your father watched, advised, and consoled when it did not start the first time, or the second time, or the 15th time you took it apart and put it back together, as third grade gradually became fifth grade, until finally the magic of mechanics worked and the engine roared and you danced a private jig in the twilight of the garage to the rhythm the engine puttered, bolted to its vibrating wooden base as you sang, "I've just seen a face I can't forget, the time and place where we just met." And you were startled to find that you were just as in love with that 3.5 horsepower four-stroke Briggs & Stratton engine as you ever were with the girl with the Picasso ponytail who sat in front of you, in the desk in front of you the day Kennedy died, and with whom no one could ever compare until you met the love of your life a decade later. That kind of obsessive love, the kind that led you to copy out by hand the Encyclopedia Britannica article on trigonometry and damn near memorize the thing while barely understanding it, just like you'd memorize the engine parts on the garage floor or her ponytail on that cold November morning without a clue as to what drove you to begin writing poetry that very day. And when that kind of love was rewarded not only with the gift of a shiny new centrifugal clutch, but the consequent gift of actual speed, as if you'd been gifted with the Wright brothers' wings, speed, solitary, wind-making, hair-whipping, jacket-flapping speed that would grow with one machine